We see that Notre Dame's named starting quarterback in C.J. Carr.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people disagree with that. I listened to some of the Cover 3 podcasts, and they thought that this had to do with NIL and him being the hotshot recruit, that he was outplayed by Kevin Minchie during fall camp. But I don't know. That's their decision to make.
Before I get to that, Mr. Wiley Sr., good to see you here in the chat again. Excited to see you down at the game. Saw the picture of KJ, Kellen Jr., on the field in practice flexing after a PBU or a big hit or something. Hey, his body is developed. Like he looks like an upperclassman. So yeah, very excited for that. In terms of CJ, that was literally what I was going to bring up next. In terms of CJ Carr, Lloyd Carr's grandson, so somebody that I've known of since like 5 ever, and everything. I, first of all, am happy that Notre Dame made their choice and publicized the choice for the quarterback, because now we can focus on preparing for him. I also, my early immediate thought and feeling, and I share this with a lot of people in like multiple group chats, he is like mobile in the pocket mobile, whereas Minchie is like hurt you with his legs mobile. And those really dual threat quarterbacks who can, break the line and get vertical have been a thorn in Miami's side for many a year. So having him on the bench and having the less mobile, but still he can move. Like, I'm not saying he's a statue, but kind of the average athlete as opposed to the dynamic runner or the player with dynamic running potential being the quarterback. I really think that is a big win for Miami. Obviously Jeremiah Love is one of the best players in America. I know that his backup, I don't know his name, doesn't really matter, but I know that he's almost 1,000-yard rusher and is also very, very, I should probably learn his name, because he's kind of that really good. So they're going to lean on that. I know that they have Jaden Greathouse, whose name I can't forget because his name is Greathouse. You know what I mean? In the past.
Jadarian Price.
Yes, Jadarian Price, the backup running back. So I say all that to say they're going to lean on those guys, Price and Love, to run the ball and not really integrate the quarterback with Carr at quarterback in a way that is different than if Minchie would have been a quarterback. Now you have to really add him to the calculus of QB being live in the run game in a way that CJ Carr I don't believe is going to be. So and I did hear the same thing from the Cover 3 guys, if they are correct in Notre Dame picking the inferior player, or that just plays into Miami's hands, that's great for me. I think Laura 84, thank you for the super chat. Carr actually had more rushing yards in high school than Minchie. Misconception is Minchie is more mobile. I've watched the film on both. While I will take this as, a great piece of conversation, I do not foresee the running game being as big a part of CJ Carr's offering at the collegiate level as it was in high school. And hold on, let me just look this up so that I'm sure. Yeah, he played at Saline, Saline in Michigan. Like, that's not. It's a decent division team, but like, you're going to have the ability to run if you are a blue chip quarterback, right? And something's not open, and you're playing at Saline against the teams that you're playing in that area of the state, just kind of outside Lansing, you're going to be able to go run, right? So I hear you on that. I don't know if it would have been the same if he were somewhere else, and I definitely do not expect that to continue moving forward. But this is a good point. And like I said, I do believe that Carr has mobility. I just don't think it is pull it and run for 20, which is what I view Minchie's athleticism to be able to deliver. So again, I don't think that he's a statue. This even adds to that and everything, but my personal view is, yeah, like I don't think he will run as much or as effectively as a college quarterback as he did against admittedly middling kind of opposition in high school.
Yeah, that scouting report is consistent with what I've heard. We've seen Minchie. Well, we've seen both players obviously in spring practice, but Minchie came in during the semifinal playoff game against Penn State and led a scoring drive. I don't remember field goal or touchdown, and hit on like 7 of 8 passes. No. My bad. I'll check myself. That was Steve Angeli, who transferred to Syracuse. That was their backup quarterback last year. So that was not Minchie, who was the third stringer last year.
Also, as well, in addition, just to hit some numbers, as a senior in high school, CJ Carr ran the ball 59 times for 91 yards and 9 touchdowns. I know that includes sacks, but 221 yards and 7 touchdowns as a junior. It's I think that is reasonable. Let me see. And for Minchie, 137 yards and 3 touchdowns as a junior, 106 yards as a sophomore, and I didn't see stats for CJ Carr's sophomore rushing. So now that we put some numbers to it, it's slightly more for CJ Carr. You know what I mean? It's not like he was running for 600 and 700 yards a year and Minchie was running for 22. Like, it was pretty comparable. So, like, again, and like that's on the 247 sports page, which is pulled from Max Preps. I could go to the Max Preps page also. So I looked it up live and everything. So I hear what you're saying and whatnot, but like positioning it to like, oh, he had more yards, in the tacitly unsaid part is like, so he did like it was barely more. Like, it was more, but comparable, within 100 yards maybe. So like, what are we talking about? So yeah, I think that, that can be advantageous for those reasons for Miami. But even with that being said, Notre Dame is a loaded team. And they are going to be prepared. But, I know that they're making the trek south. And the same thing that I said last year about Florida and their schedule, whenever I said, well, they have the hardest schedule in this country and it's da-da-da-da, I said, they got to see us to start. Same thing with Notre Dame. Like, hey, they got to come and see us. So, like, I know that they're going to try to come down here and everything. Y'all remember 2017. I'm not saying it's going to be that, but, it just, much in the similar way to how people have been denigrating Carson Beck all offseason, it feels like people are kind of making it a foregone conclusion that Notre Dame's going to win. And I would like to recenter my alma mater, the University of Miami Hurricanes, into the conversation, because we had a damn good team.